Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at the 2018 Senate elections based off the approval rating for either candidate, for the incumbent senator, which would eventually show their election performance against either candidate. So when we look at the Senate map, we're going to do this actually through alphabetical order, Arizona finishing off in Wyoming. And pretty much the way I did this approval rating is I took the approval rating and the disapproval rating and I combined them and then I averaged it out. Unlike in the Trump video where I took his approval rating, anything above 45%, I gave to anything under 45% in the approval rating, I gave to the Democrats, and then anything above, I gave to the Republicans. In this way, we're just going to take it based off averaging the disapproval rating and the approval rating, and figuring out the range between the approval rating and the disapproval rating. So essentially, the first state we're going to start off with the state of Arizona. The disapproval rating was a net 16% over the approval rating, meaning it was a 50% disapproval rating and a 32% approval rating, and that would put that state solidly in the opposition party's column. And of course, the incumbent senator is not running for re-election, but there are no approval rating polls statewide taken on either of the three Republican runners that actually have a chance at winning the nomination, or the Democratic frontrunner right now. So the first state, Arizona, flips to the Democrats, and I will be doing this with leaning and likely. So when we get to some states where the approval rating may be in the advantage for the Democrats or the Republicans, but it narrows down, then we'll see it in the leaning column, and then, of course, the likely column for states that are a little bit more to the left or to the right. So we start off with Arizona going to the Democrats. California is the next state. Regardless of this outcome, the Democrats win, but the approval rating is a +9 for Dianne Feinstein. The state of, not Kentucky, Connecticut. Chris Murphy has a net 16% approval rating over his disapproval rating at 50%, but we're not doing it based off percentage points. We go over to Delaware right here. Tom Carper easily wins re-election with a net 25% over his disapproval rating. The state of Florida, this one's a little bit surprising. Safe in the Democratic column, 18% approval rating over his disapproval rating, 47% approval rating. A lot of these voters were undecided or had no opinion about the incumbent senator, but again, approval rating polls don't always show the outcome of an election, but they definitely do indicate how well voters know a certain candidate or how they would eventually vote, especially if the undecideds are reaching under 10%. Everybody knows the candidate. They just vote on how they support the candidate, which will come to a couple states like that, such as Texas. So Hawaii, approval rating +21%. Mazie Hirono has no real opposition either, so that's pretty good for her. The state of Indiana, this one goes into the likely Democratic column. The approval rating is +10%. And that's also pretty surprising considering that Joe Donnelly is a Democrat from a state that Donald Trump won by over 20% in 2016. We go over to the state of Maine. The Democrat, independent Angus King here, 29% approval rating over his disapproval rating. Pretty considerable, enough to put that one in the safe column. Maryland, we have a net 27% higher approval rating than disapproval rating in this state. Of course, this is my home state, as most of you know. Ben Cardin wins re-election. Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren easily wins re-election. Net 19% approval rating over the disapproval rating. Michigan, this is the first state going into a leaning column. The state of Michigan, a net 4% approval over her disapproval rating at a 42% approval rating. A state where the Republicans aren't targeting, but they could have targeted if they had ran a better candidate leading up to the primaries, but it's a tad too late for anyone to throw their hat into the ring. The state of Minnesota, there are no approval ratings, no good approval rating polls that were taken that well, but we'll go over for Amy Klobuchar. She has a net 35% approval rating over her disapproval rating at 60%. Not Minnesota. I was talking about Mississippi, but Minnesota, the special election, Tina Smith has a net 12% approval rating at only a 33% approval rating. Not many people know her, but it's enough to put her in the likely column for now. Now we go down to the state of Mississippi. I'm going to fill in the special election because there is no opinion polling, and we all know that state's probably going red. The state of Mississippi overall, net 17% approval rating for the Republicans over the disapproval rating, actually the incumbent Roger Wicker. And then we go over to the state of Missouri again, since we are doing this by toss-ups. We are doing this by alphabetical order. Toss-up states are going to start going pretty quickly. The net disapproval rating of 5% for Claire McCaskill. She loses the state of Missouri due to her 39% approval rating. But another swing state, the state of Montana, lands solidly in the Democratic column with a net 23% approval rating, actually higher from January 2018 by a considerable amount. The state of Nebraska, right now we have a 8% approval rating for Deb Fischer over her disapproval rating, which is pretty surprising, but not many voters actually know who she is. The state of Nevada, 3% disapproval rating, so that means that actually goes into the leaning column for the opposition party, the Democratic Party. The state of New Jersey, this one should become, it's not really a shocker, but it's something that's pretty weird seeing this on our map. The state of New Jersey, disapproval rating plus 4% over Bob Menendez's approval rating is probably expected due to a number of scandals added to his name, but that puts that state in the Republican column, which we haven't seen in almost any prediction. So New Mexico is the next state, which goes into the Democratic column, in the likely Democratic column, having a net 7% approval rating. The state of New York, safe for the Democrats, net 19% approval rating. North Dakota, another state in the likely column, net 8% approval rating over her disapproval, Heidi Heitkamp's disapproval rating at 47%. Well, her approval rating is at 47%. Her disapproval ratings at 39%. The state of Ohio, Sherrod Brown easily wins re-election here, going to the safe column. Actually, Pennsylvania is not as safe in terms of approval rating than the state of Ohio, probably because voters are a little bit more informed of the candidates there. The state of Rhode Island, another state in the safe column for the Democrats, net 17% approval rating at 49%, I believe it is, for, yes, Sheldon Whitehouse. So we have a couple states left and a number of swing states left. So we go over to the state of Tennessee. The approval rating is plus 5%, putting it in the leaning column for the GOP. The state of Texas is plus 15%. That is enough to put it in the safe column for the GOP right now. So Ted Cruz, 49% approval rating, 34% disapproval rating. Utah, the net approval rating is actually 7%, which is pretty surprising, but that gives the Republicans the majority in the U.S. Senate, and it's pretty surprising considering that it is a state like Utah, which is extremely partisan towards the Republican Party. The state of Vermont, net approval rating plus 49%. That's not getting competitive anytime soon. The state of Virginia, right now in the likely column due to the approval rating being plus 10%. Now we have 4 states remaining, and the Republicans have retained the majority in the United States Senate, and the states remaining are West Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. So the state of Washington, the first state that we're going to talk, well, not the first state, obviously, but the state that we're going to talk about of the remaining 4, the state of Washington, 51% approval rating for Maria Cantwell, net 23% approval rating over her disapproval rating. The state of West Virginia, the net disapproval rating is 1% over Joe Manchin's approval rating. It's very much down from where it was in the beginning of 2018, where it was extremely high for a Democrat in West Virginia, not so much for Joe Manchin. Okay, sorry about that, but Wyoming I actually want to go to before we go to Wisconsin, but Wyoming easily goes to the Republicans, obviously, net 31% approval rating over a disapproval rating. And the state of Wisconsin, this one should come as a shocker to many. The state of Wisconsin, disapproval rating plus 2%, meaning Tammy Baldwin would lose re-election if it was up to her approval rating polls. So we finish off the map at 53 Republicans and 47 Democrats. If you look at this map, it looks very interesting. You really don't see these type of shades of red or split districts, split states in a number of these states. Right now, the Democrats finish off again with 45 seats in the Democratic column, 2 in the Independents that caucus with the Democrats, and 53 Republican seats. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.